Okay, so once again I welcome you all to Law Spring. Are you getting me clear? I hope you are getting me clear. Hello? Okay. So yesterday we had done what is the living condition of the rag pickers. I asked you to read the paragraph very well, thoroughly, word by word, line by line, and I hope so you have done so. Okay, so you must have got an idea what kind of a life these people are leading in that slum, and what are the priorities for them. The priorities for them the only priority for them is food, right? They don't have anything to do with identity cards, identity, reputation. All these things don't matter for them. Reason these things don't matter because they can't fill their stomach. The stomach will be filled by food. And where does the food come from? Food comes if you have got a ration card, right? So it says that food is more important for survival than an identity, which we did last time. Food is more important for survival than identity, because identity will not help them to get food, but identity will not help them to get food. So he says further, then I touched upon this point, children grow up in them becoming partners in survival. And I told you, partners in survival, to understand it you can have a look at yourself, because you people are not partners in survival. You are a major expenditure. You are not partners in survival. And these kids who are doing the rag picking, they are all partners in survival. So then he says, it has acquired the proportions of fine art. Now why I am stressing upon these points is because these are the points you can get for explanation, 2 marks, like 1 mark, explain. Suppose you get a question, explain garbage to them is gold, or it has acquired the proportions of fine art. So what is this it? It can come as a reference to the context question also. RTCs. Lines will be given, you have to identify the lesson and the context of the line. Where the line, what does it refer to? Now if you have the books, then you can follow it. It has acquired the proportions of a fine art. So what does it refer to? It refers to the rag picking. Rag picking has acquired the proportions of a fine art. What is an art? I explained to you yesterday. Art is a skill. Means they are very skilled. They are very skilled at rag picking. Now what is, like, how can rag picking be an art? This question might arise in your minds. How can rag picking is such? No, does anybody want to be a rag picker? Nobody wants to be a rag picker. Then what is so artistic? What is the art in rag picking? The art in rag picking is that these kids, okay, they know what in garbage has value. Look, we have dumped that garbage, we have taken away and thrown it at the garbage dump. Reason is that we are discarding it. We know it's useless. It's of zero value. But the kids, these rag picking children, they know what to find from what, what to separate from that, what to segregate from that. Okay, all these things they know. What is, probably if I give you a bag of garbage, you won't be able to do anything out of it. But these kids, they are earning a livelihood out of garbage. So isn't that a skill? A garbage of refuse, a garbage of rubbish, a bag of rubbish and garbage. Okay, so that bag of rubbish and garbage, it is providing them a source of income. So don't you think it's a skill? Obviously it's a skill. It's a great skill. It's a great skill. From that garbage they are earning 100 or 150 or 200 rupees at the end of the day. That's the skill. So garbage to them is gold. Now when we began the lesson also, we had this word gold. They came here in search of gold. So I told you, gold does not mean literally they were looking for that precious yellow metal which is known as gold. No. Gold here means anything that can, garbage to them is gold. Something which can provide them a source of livelihood. You can say it's money, because it's money that makes the mayor go. So it's money that is, that has drawn them towards it. And garbage to them is money. It means garbage to them is gold, means garbage to them is money. It is garbage which will help them to fill their stomachs. So indirectly we can say that these kids, the shelter that they get, the food that they eat is all out of the garbage. So they are earning out of garbage. They are earning out of things which we consider zero value. So don't you think that's the greatest skill they have? That is the skill. Now it is their daily bread, a roof over their heads, even if it's a leaking roof, but for a child it is even more. Now come the very important lines of this lesson, where the author is trying to differentiate between an adult rag picker and a child rag picker. As you know, the child of a rag picker, the son or daughter of a rag picker may not be able to go to school. Reason that they can't afford education. For you it may be a necessity, for you it is easy to get education, for them it's a luxury, they can't afford to go to school. There's probably, if they come to school, there may be social stigma attached to them. We can never say. It won't be easy for them. It would be very difficult for them to attend school. Probably they won't be able to bear the fee. Okay, all these things are there. So what is the difference between an adult and a child rag picker? From here on you will get this. But for a child it is even more. What is even more? This rag picking. Now, for an adult rag picker, rag picking is a source of livelihood. Keep this in mind. For an adult rag picker, rag picking is simply a source of livelihood. It's a means of income. It is how he earns money, how he manages daily bread and butter. That's rag picking. Source of livelihood. Simple. It's like a job. A job, a duty which you do. Now let me take you to something else. Studies. You study. As a student, it's your duty to study. So studying is your duty. But there are some things which you love, which you say, oh, it's my hobby, it's my favorite pastime, it's my leisure activity. So earlier in our times, people used to have reading, etc., and they had gardening, etc. These were the hobbies. But now in 2020, probably somebody asks, somebody says that I am not coming clear, I can't help with it, the network is an issue. That's why I said are the people who are on live streaming, can you hear me clear? Just let me know in the comments. Because I think Zoom people are facing a problem and I can't fix that problem of Zoom, But I guess live streaming is a better option. What do you say, live streaming people? Are you getting my voice clear? Somebody said that the voice is not very clear on Zoom, so we can't do much about it. You have to bear with it, okay? So where was I? Okay, I was talking about the hobbies of the present century. What are the hobbies of present age? The hobbies of the present age are what? Social working, social networking sites. Probably they are consuming most of your time and you feel so interested in them. And just time flies. When you are on WhatsApp or Facebook, time flies. It is only recently that you have started studying on these. Okay. So coming back to it. So hobby and a duty. Hobby and a profession. Got it? So when a person is following a profession, okay, he is doing it as a duty. And somebody is doing a hobby, he's interested in that. So I am a teacher. I am a teacher by profession. Okay, it's my duty to teach. It's something through which I earn my livelihood. But I may like singing, that's my hobby. I may like singing and I feel more interested in that. It gives me more interest. I don't get money out of it. Okay, so now keep this in mind, the difference between a hobby and a duty, or hobby and a profession. So he says, for an adult rag picker, what is it? It is just a duty, it's just a job, it's just a work that he is doing to earn money, right? For a child it is even more. Now you connect it. For a child, somebody may be having a problem with their network, okay? So you just listen, and please don't tell me the voices. If somebody has particularly, if we can't do much about it. And live streaming guys are saying that it's coming beautiful. So I can't come and fix that, sorry. Okay. So now how does a child rag picker react to rag picking? So now this. What's the name of the child? Sahib Alam. If you forgot it for quite a page. We started with Sahib Alam and then we totally forgot this guy. He says, I sometimes find a rupee, even a 10 rupee note. Now just imagine a rag picking child going out to at a garbage dump. Garbage dump, you have seen, it must be very somewhere near your house where you go and throw all the garbage. That's a garbage dump. So a child who goes rag picking, what is his purpose? He is going to pick the rags, he is going to find out something from the garbage, and then suddenly he finds a 10 rupee note. Okay, He finds this 10 rupee note suddenly. So, how will he feel? Just try to connect to the emotions of that child who has suddenly discovered, who has suddenly found a 10 rupee note in that garbage dump. Okay, out of the blue, suddenly. It will come as a pleasant surprise. It will come as a shock, a pleasant surprise to him. When you says his eyes lighting up. What is eyes lighting up? Means the happiness you see. The happiness you can see in the eyes of a person. When you get your result and you suppose you stand first, then your eyes light up. With what? Happiness, enthusiasm, all those things. I sometimes find a rupee, even a 10 rupee note, Sahib says his eyes lighting up. When you can find a silver coin, a heap of garbage, you don't stop scrounging. Scrounging is searching more and more. So he says if you find something, a coin, a 5 rupee coin, a 10 rupee note in the garbage dump, then what happens? What happens? Your hopes rise. Your expectations rise. Suppose you are coming to school. On the way you find a 100 rupee note. Okay. Next day, again you will follow the same path, you will follow the same route. Why? There's a hope in your heart that today maybe I might find, if not 100, maybe 50, or if not 100, if I'm lucky, not 100, probably a 500 note. Okay, so it's the hope that attracts them towards the garbage dump. The hope is bringing them there again and again. For there is a hope of finding more. Finding more what? Finding more money, more coins. It seems that for children, garbage has a meaning different from what it means to their parents. Now, this is what I am trying to explain to you. For the children, it is different. For the adults, it is different. The meaning of garbage is different for each one of them. Reason? For one, it is a duty. Okay? For the elders, it's a duty to pick garbage. For the children, it's excitement. They feel excited. They may be feeling very enthusiastic. They may be feeling very curious about it. For the children, it is wrapped in wonder. For the elders, it's a means of survival. That's in short. For the elders, it's a means of survival, and for the child, it's wrapped in wonder. What is wrapped in wonder? Wrapped in wonder, like suppose you organize a birthday party and your friends bring gifts. They are all wrapped up. So how do you feel when you see a wrapped up gift? You want to open it. You are so curious. You are so enthusiastic and excited about that. Okay. So that is now. This is one main question, short question, which I have discussed just now. That how is rag picking different for a child and an adult? How is rag picking different for a child and an adult? So you will write, for the adult, it is a source of income, a means of livelihood, a duty, a profession which they follow. There is no fun in that. There is no excitement in that. There is no feeling in that. They do it as a duty. Like, you may be studying without sometimes, even without interest, or you may be doing some work because you have to submit it tomorrow. You have got a project report or something of that sort. But for a child rag picker, going out doing rag picking, it is full of wonder, full of excitement, full of surprise, and he goes with lot of enthusiasm and excitement when he steps out of his house, okay, to do the rag picking thing. So that is the difference. Remember it. So he says, one winter morning, I see Sahib standing by the fenced gate of the neighborhood. What is he doing? Club, watching two young men dressed in white playing tennis. I like the game, he hums. And very important, content to watch it standing behind the fence. Okay, the tennis club, probably he goes to a tennis club and sees people playing tennis, but because tennis is it's not a poor man's game. Tennis, you need to have this huge lawn tennis court and then expensive balls and the tennis racket also. So not affordable by a rag picker. So what he says, content means satisfied. Satisfied with what? Satisfied watching it. He's content to watch it standing behind the fence. He stands behind the fence. Fence, is that, and some kind of wires that are put around to mark the boundary. It can be some bushes, it can be some plants, it can be those concertina wires or anything to mark the territory. I go inside when no one is around. He admits the gatekeeper lets me use the swing. Okay, so what does he do? In the tennis court, he can't play. He doesn't have the equipment. So he just goes and uses the swing, and probably the gatekeeper is a friendly man. He allows him to do so. Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange over his discolored shirt and shorts. Someone gave them to me, he says, in the manner of an explanation. Remember the shoes we were discussing? Discolored shoes. They were wearing shoes which did not match. The fact that they are discarded shoes of some rich boy. Discarded. What is discarded? What is discarded? You have got a pen. The ink runs out. What do? You don't carry it along. Just throw it away in the waste bin. Throw it away in the dustbin. That is discard. That is discarded. So the discarded shoes of some rich boy. Some rich boy had these shoes. He was not probably, there was some discoloration or something. They got broken. Something happened. They got torn and he doesn't want to wear them. Who perhaps refused to wear them because of a hole in one of them. So the rich boy, why did he discard the shoes? Because the shoe had a hole. Simple. The rich boy decided to discard the shoe because the shoe had a hole and it would hurt his pride and self-respect and dignity and whatever and his ego to wear that shoe. So he threw it away. And for Sahib-e-Alam who can't afford shoes, it's a boon. It's a blessing. It's a gift. Does not bother him. The rich boy was bothered by the hole in the shoe. A small hole in the shoe, he doesn't want to wear it anymore. This chap, Sahib-e-Alam, he says no problem. Why? He can't afford even footwear. He may not be able to afford even slippers and he's getting shoes. So lucky him. For one who has walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole is a dream come true. So when we were doing this lesson, I suggested that you try to understand, connect to the intensity of poverty that people are living in. Abject state of poverty. The poverty which we can't even imagine. You know, somebody who hasn't worn a shoe all his life, it's like a dream come true. Now, just go back to your dreams. What do you dream of? Do you dream of getting shoes? I doubt. I'm sure none of you. Nobody. But the game he's watching so intently is out of his reach. Yes. He dreamt about shoes, he got them. But there are some things which he doesn't even dream about. What are those things? He doesn't even dream about what? Playing tennis, because he knows it's totally out of my reach. This morning Sahib is on his way to the milk booth, in his hand a steel canister. Now we are coming to the end of it, and now there is sudden change. You will notice some changes in Sahib-e-Alam. He has changed his profession. Earlier he was doing rag picking, now he's working at a tea stall. You may have seen little children, young kids working at tea stalls, delivering tea, doing the teapots and running errands for the owner of the tea shop. He says, I now work in a tea stall down the road. He says, pointing in a distance. I am paid 800 rupees in all my meals. So now we find he is getting 800 rupees. So now what's the difference between his earlier job and the job he does now? Okay, you can get a question. Is he happy? Is he satisfied? Why is he not satisfied? What is he missing? Does he enjoy his job? All these questions you should try to understand. I am paid 800 rupees means now he is working at a tea stall. So he has got one person who's the owner. Right? First thing, he is getting a fixed salary, 800 rupees. Correct? You got it? 800 rupees he is getting. Compare it to the earlier situation when he was doing his own work, means rag picking. Was the amount fixed? Could he say that today I am going to earn 100 rupees or I'll earn 200 rupees every day, the whole month? No, he can't say. He can't be sure about the amount of money he will earn every day. It may fluctuate. One day he earns 50 rupees, another day he might earn 200, someday he might get a zero. Okay, so earlier the amount was not fixed. Now the amount is fixed. In rag picking, the income was fluctuating, the income was varying. But now we find the income is fixed. And he says, all my meals. So the food is also being given by the tea stall owner. So he gets food also, free food. There was no free food. Does he like the job, I ask? His face, I see, has lost the carefree look now. His face has lost the carefree look. You know, earlier when he was doing rag picking, then he was enjoying the rag picking. You know, that excitement, finding a broken toy, finding a 5 rupee coin, 10 rupee note in that. It added to the excitement of rag picking. He went out with an enthusiasm. There was something drawing him to it. He was looking forward to something. Now, what is there? Nothing. He has to go to the tea stall. He has to perform his job. Okay, he has lost his freedom. Earlier there was freedom. His working hours were flexible. He is doing his work. It was his own work. Rack picking was his own work. Okay, nobody was his boss. Now he has got a boss. Okay, and he has to obey the boss. Earlier he did not have any boss to obey. He could go. Suppose he says, I'll go to one area today. Second day he may go to another area. Third day he may go to another colony. It depends on him entirely. Working hours flexible. He wants to go early, come back late, come early, go back. Go to the work late. It's all up to him. But now hours are fixed. Income is fixed, right? Salary is fixed. Food is promised. Earlier there was no promise of food. But still, there are so many advantages. But is he happy? No, he isn't happy. His face has lost his carefree look. Now what is that carefree look? Once your exams are over, then you look at your face. It will be carefree. Look at your friend's face after his exam is over. Carefree look. And before the exam, worried. The face has lost its joy. The face has lost its, enthusiastic. The bounce you have in the face, the glow you have in the face is lost. So that is the carefree look. The steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly over his shoulder. Now, the things required for the job. When he was going rack picking, what did he carry? You have seen that big bag. Okay, big bag carried by the rack pickers. And now what does he do? He carries a steel canister. Now that steel canister, you understand. When you go out, like our father goes out or somebody goes out to carry milk, get milk from the milk booths. So they carry a steel canister. Okay, that's a steel canister. So now his owner, he asks him to get milk and he carries the steel canister. The bag was his. A very important line, short line, just short sentence, 4 words. The bag was his. The canister belongs to the man who owns the tea shop. What does it mean? Have you heard the term sense of belonging? Sense of belonging, very important, sense of belonging. You sit in the class, all of you. You sit in the class and I have observed, you may have done it, okay? And students, many times they do it, even unknowingly. Or sometimes they do it knowingly. They are sitting on the desk and doing something to the desk. They are scrubbing the desk with something. They are engraving something on the desk. They are doing something to the wall, defacing it, damaging it. In the class, in the school. But when they go home, will they do the same to their study table? No. Why? Sense of belonging. If somebody else does that to your study table, comes and makes a scratch or writes his name on that, on your study table, what do? You say, you get angry. And you might even pick up a fight with that person. But if somebody does that to the school property, what do you say? Let it be. It's not my concern. Why? I don't have a sense of belonging. Library books you borrow. You will underline, you will highlight, you will make it dog-eared, you will treat it. You may use it for different purposes other than studying also. You might just put your lunch on it and have your lunch on it. You might put it on your head, under your head, the library book. But your own book, which you have bought for 500 rupees, would you treat it in the same way? Would you let somebody else treat it in the same way? You know the answer. So why is this? Why is it? It is because we have a sense of belonging for the things that we have. Okay? And for the things which don't belong to us, we don't have a sense of belonging. So it says the canister belongs to the man who owns the tea shop. Sahib is no longer his own master. Okay? Sahib is no longer his own master. What does that mean? Earlier he was the master. He was his will, his job, his thing. Whatever he wants to do, he will do that. But now he's working under someone. He has got a boss. Okay? And that boss, he has to obey the orders. Now that bag which he carried, that was his. He said it is my bag. He was even proud. He may be even proud of it. But what about this bag? What about this steel canister? It doesn't belong to him. It belongs to that man. So essentially what the author is trying to explain here is that Sahib-e-Alam does not have a sense of belonging for this job. Sahib-e-Alam is not interested in this job. This job of the tea at the tea stall is not giving any joy, any happiness, any enthusiasm to this man, to this boy, Sahib-e-Alam. For him it is just, he's just earning his livelihood through that. He's not he's not enjoying the job. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this chapter, which I will stop here. And because the Zoom people, they will miss it, I'm going to put this video on YouTube also, and you can follow it there, or you can follow it on the Facebook account also. Okay, thanks a lot, and we'll meet till we meet next time.